If you're making something complicated, you're probably going to need to make it yourself unless you find the right contractor. The margins are going to be tough. No one's going to want to
Okay.
wholesale it because they can't step all over it, as we say, in terms of markup. And it's definitely the hard way to go. But I would say cater to the contractor that you know and are working with. That's the hard part, finding the right contractor and then coming up with products that they can make successfully versus giving them things that are way beyond their capability, because they'll probably say yes because the price will be right, but they'll also screw it up and then you'll be hosed. So go carefully, and it's okay to run out. We've always been a scarcity model of, oh, you better buy it because we're running it. Sometimes a nice thing to do is pre-orders. We do that sometimes where we'll say, hey, we're going to make a run of these. We only make them once in a while.
Welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today we have with us Chris Cronin. Chris is the founder and CMO of Kitanica. It's an outdoor adventure apparel company designing and manufacturing the world's most durable and high-functioning apparel. Welcome to our show, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, Shane.
Oh, no, it's great to have you. We were just talking about how I was looking at your Instagram and saw that move, the video you made of the new location. I just got really excited seeing that advancement and the growth of your business to be able to move into a new location. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. And right now we're spread out on 2 floors, and the old facilities neighborhood is terrible. It's in industrial Oakland.
Yeah.
And it's just really the neighborhood itself. Oakland is, growing and vibrant and an incredible city. I live in Oakland, but there's corners of it that are just neglected, and just the industrial parts. Everyone expects it to turn into a beautiful neighborhood at some point, but it just hasn't really happened in that spot. And it's nice to get out of that and move to a new location that's really clean and beautiful and
So
well lit, and really nice.
it's really nice. It looks like it's in a retail plaza or some kind of a retail environment.
No, it's just that nice. We've entertained having a showroom in there for our products because
Yes,
we make a lot of different things.
definitely.
And so it'd be really cool to have a room that has everything we make on display. So if someone were to swing through, we're not really staffed to do like direct
Yeah.
retail, other than we
Yeah.
do direct retail online. And that's been our models for most of our existence. But we're shifting, actually, interestingly, to a wholesale model as well. We're right in the middle of that as part of this like transition of the
But
company.
but you're a manufacturer, you would be wholesaling regardless, no?
No, so we've sold direct to consumer, primarily factory direct, basically,
Oh,
for our existence. Yeah. So about a little history is that we are a U.S. manufacturer
yes,
of
please.
clothing and have our own sewers, have a dozen, 15 sewers, depends on like season, what time, what we're making, how business is, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Currently, we have about 12. And so making things in the United States, making things in California is really expensive. We have really high minimum wage. And so unlike all the other clothes that everybody wears, they're manufactured overseas. Our margins are pretty narrow. So we've always relied on the direct model to carry us
Got it.
in terms of margin, so that we're not just wholesaling
Makes
it.
sense.
We've done some wholesaling, and a lot of our wholesale customers are international, even China, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Russia is our biggest outside, and then Europe as well.
Oh,
But we've export about a third of what we make. And but we are shifting. We're starting to make things globally, overseas. We started with a
amazing.
line of bags in Vietnam, and they've been doing really well. We did a Kickstarter with this crazy fanny pack that we made that's completely overbuilt, has 1 billion pockets and zippers and all
Oh,
sorts of
wow.
features. And that's a whole podcast in itself. Kickstarter, Our first Kickstarter was like, it was great. It was successful, but so much work. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what inspired for you to create this company? Were you in the apparel business before this? And also, is there a story behind the name, Kitanica?
Yeah. So it's a family business. My brother, Cronin, is a designer and has been designing clothes since he was, I don't know, 10, probably 11 or 12, I think, probably 12.
No way.
Started making his own.
Yeah.
He bought a pattern from a craft store in Connecticut where we grew up and made it on my mom's sewing machine, our mom's sewing machine, and then didn't like how it came out. So he changed the pattern to make it cool. And it was a Three Musketeers shirt. It had all these billowy, it was actually a cheesemaker's shirt is what it was called. And he changed it all around and stripped down, took out all the billowy stuff and made it just this really cool kind of canvas shirt. And then the rest is history. So he's just a savant in terms of design and hasn't taken any college classes or on design or anything, but is just a fabric engineer and has really focused his efforts on like overbuilding things and making things that last and outlast anything on the market. So some of our jackets are made of 1,000-denier Cordura. So you need certain sewing machines to make that. You need certain equipment, which is why we've made stuff ourselves, because people would just screw it up or not make it
To have that control.
or not be able to give up halfway, and then you don't even have a product and you got a bunch of ruined fabric. So we've been down that road many times. And so we've controlled everything by doing it ourselves. And so anyway, it's family business with myself, my cousin, our cousin, Len Riccio and Beach. And so we've just built this company around his design efforts and have blown it out to a whole bunch of different products and are just always trying to expand on what we're doing. Oh, and then second part two, question about the name Kitanica.
Yeah.
So my brother, like I said, he doesn't have formal
So I
design
pronounced it
training.
wrong then.
We don't correct anybody as long as you're saying it. We're good.
No, how do you pronounce it? I want to know. I want to make sure.
I say it.
I want to pronounce it properly.
So part of that, part of the name.
Kitanica.
Correct. Kitanica. So chitin.
Okay.
CHITIN, the molecular component for bug exoskeletons, and crustacean shells, and it's what makes them strong, is basically we make exoskeletons for humans. So we started with jackets, and we started with really heavy duty ballistic nylon jackets and Cordura jackets. And so that's the impetus of the company, is to make a jacket that outlasts any jacket on the market. And so that's where the company started.
Can you sorry to interrupt?
Yeah.
Can you dumb that part down a little bit for me and the audience? What material is this and where does it come from?
So chitin, CHITIN, is like a molecular component for bug exoskeletons and shells in animals in the animal kingdom. And so it's what makes crab shells hard for crustaceans, and it's what makes beetle shells hard, which is why our logo is a beetle.
How do you pull that out from that? Is there a process that
no,
they get
that's
the
just
fiber
a name.
from it?
So it's just in a name. It's a fanciful thing. We made it up, and we spell our name. So we are the world of exoskeletons is what our vision is in the name. And we spell it with a K instead of the CH so that people say it right. Instead of saying Kitanica, that's what they would say.
Got it.
We say it Kitanica, and it looks cool with a K at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And we like the beetle logo. And so we developed as well. And that's the impetus of the name. It's a world of exoskeletons.
Excellent.
Simply put.
Yeah. So what kind of guarantee do you have of your product? It sounds like really heavy duty. And how's the weight factor of your jackets, for example, your clothing, your apparel, extra heavy compared to other brands?
Yeah, and not everything we make is made of Cordura. We use a lot of ripstop, nylon cotton ripstop fabric. So we're using like military grade materials to make everyday clothing, but it's a lot of people use it for workwear. They use it for motorcycling for those heavy jackets because they're made of a really strong thing. And what's interesting, and you're right, like when you're using 1,000 denier to make a jacket, it has to fit right. It has to wear right. And so that is, the arms are articulated. So you're not fighting against the jacket all the time, meaning they're gauged around the elbows.
Yeah.
It fits the human body. And that's something that small companies, and I read this in a book about making clothes and being a business that makes clothes, is that small companies really can focus on fit, whereas larger companies with that, because they're just making so many pieces and everything is just on a different scale, that you can't pay that much attention to fit when you're cranking out styles. And so we definitely do. And that is like, our knees are articulated in our pants, even our jeans, and even the patterns have that consideration, I guess you would say.
So what is the most important factor when it comes to your manufacturing process? What makes you unique in that process when it comes to other manufacturers?
I would say the way we build things, and that comes down to material. It's all going to sound super cliche because everyone says it. We sew our jackets with boot thread. One of the things that people don't think about in our pants and everything, for the most part, is the heaviest thread we can, because that's what blows out is your seams. And so you'll see sometimes,
and I always have that problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're focused on the things that blow out. For example, our jeans. We've made jeans. They look like everybody else's jeans. They have a cell phone pocket on the thigh. So that's super sweet. And once you have that, you're never going to be able to wear another pair of jeans, but it's pretty seamless on the thigh.
Amazing.
And it's a great place to put it, and you don't sit on it. But outside of that, we sew it with heavy duty thread. We use a little bit heavier fabric, like a 12-ounce denim. And then we also, the two places your pants blow out in jeans are your belt loops, because they get old and they're bar tacked in there, and they're really thin. Think about how thin, they're very thin, and they pull out after been washed 100 times. That's where it's going to blow out, is with all the needle holes from bar tacking those little bands of folded over denim as the belt loop. So what we use is really heavy duty nylon. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide nylon webbing, and bar tack that in. And those things, it's like a harness. So that thing's not going anywhere. I've never had one of our belt loops blow out on me. Second place is your pockets, the pocket liners that we call them pocket bags. The pocket liners of your jeans. And I actually have a pair on. I can stand up and show you what I'm talking about. But the pocket liners, we use nylon cotton ripstop. How many times have your keys poked through an old pair of your favorite old pair of jeans, and poke through the pocket? That's where they also blow out. And that's why we use nylon cotton ripstop in the pockets. And we also use camouflage fabric just because it's cool on the inside of the pockets. But our jeans sell for $99, and
inside of the pockets.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know. So these are the belt loops, the fatter belt loop.
Yeah.
And these are the pockets. You can't.
Cool.
Anyway, show and tell, but
that's awesome. No, it's cool.
That's basically that. And those are just our jeans. So everything we make has that consideration, everything we make. And they're tested. People, they come back, and you asked about guarantee. We guarantee everything against craftsman defect. Like, we've made it. We didn't make the fabric. So if you stick a knife through your jeans or something, like we might be able to mend it for you, but we got to charge you for sewing on that, because we got to pay the person to do it. But if we get stuff back and we fix it, and we want to know how it blew out, so we want to see it. So we always work with whatever customer has any issue with anything we've got, and just, we've always taken care of everybody and stand behind it, unless they're idiots. So I'm just kidding.
Chris,
yeah,
tell me about your most successful product, that one item that is just on fire. It's the best item you have, and you're just always producing it. And can you tell us more about it?
That's interesting. And it changes, excuse me, over the years. we've had different products catch fire when it gets. So we had a jacket on Mythbusters, and that's a TV show here in the US. And that kind of caught fire and really energized the company in the very earliest days. We still make that jacket, but we make a different version of it. We've updated it. We've made it like completely redesigned it since then. But that one really caught fire in a way where we're like, oh, people really want this thing. We should start making it again.
Yeah.
And so we had shelved the company. My brother went to teaching, and that thing, like, there was a Google, and it was on the show for years, and people just were like looking for it and looking for it. And nobody was making it, of course, because my brother made it originally and sold it to Adam Savage, the host of Mythbusters and one of the hosts.
Oh,
And so people were just looking for it. So that's one. The Scorpion pack most recently is this overbuilt fanny pack, and it's really like a lumbar pack it's got big giant Fastex clip buckle. But what it is, it's, you know how a backpack has like a real waistband that sits on your hips and you can put real weight in it. We made a fanny
yes.
pack like that. Yeah, we made a fanny pack like that also has a shoulder strap, so you can use it. You can remove the waist belt, use it as a shoulder bag. And then it also, that funded on Kickstarter in 5 days, was in the top 4% of Kickstarter earners. So thing about Kickstarter that nobody knows, or I didn't know when I started doing it, when we first went into it, was that only 4% of Kickstarters make over $100,000 in revenue or raise that much. Only 4%. There's a lot of Kickstarters out there. And so that we were in that tier. I think we raised 123,000, but people want to carry it. People want a bunch of them. And so we're looking, then that was made in Vietnam by one of the premier bag making companies in the business. And so it's super high quality, and all designed to our spec. We designed it, came up with the ideas and made the samples, sent the samples there. They make it, we check them, give them feedback, make sure they're made right with our materials. Because that's happened before at other shops where you send your stuff, you order them all the supplies that you need to your spec, and then they use somebody else's thread or they use somebody else's. And then you're like, you sewed this with fashion thread.
Yeah.
This thing is going to pull itself apart because work. The material's so heavy. Yeah. Anyway, so the Scorpion pack is really cool. And I like the name. Yeah, we've sold out. We're doing some crowdfunding now in Japan and South Korea. And so once you get successful on Kickstarter in the US, I was reached out to by maybe 30 companies that want to carry it and do a crowdfunding in their country. And so it catches fire a little bit, but it's a ton of work chasing down the backers for the Kickstarter and their details. I didn't realize that going in, but it's really helped our bag line.
Yeah. It was a good experience too, right?
Yeah, we'll do another one. We're looking for the next product, because it can't just be a shirt or like a jacket. Although we want to have something unique that nobody else makes that needs to be made. That's often kind of how we start with our product design process.
That's good. The uniqueness, what is needed.
Right. And what's different about what we're making? So, is it just better? How? Yeah.
Yeah. So are there any kind of tips or advice you want to share with anyone that may be looking to start their own apparel manufacturing company in the United States?
It's the tough way to go. And if you're making something complicated, you're probably going to need to make it yourself unless you find the right contractor. And it's almost
impossible.
No, I wouldn't say that. The margins are going to be tough. No one's going to want to wholesale it because they can't step all over it, as we say, in terms of markup. And it's definitely the hard way to go. But I would say cater to the contractor that you know and are working with, or you have access to, or that's the hard part, is finding the right contractor and then coming up with products that they can make successfully versus giving them things that are way beyond their capability, because they'll probably say yes, because the price will be right, or they'll, oh, if I'm going to make this, I'm going to need $35 a piece or whatever. They'll say yes, but they'll also screw it up, and then you'll be hosed. You won't be able to get your money out of it because you can't sell it, and then you're stuck in a really hard spot because you're going to owe people money if you borrowed money to make it, or you're just going to be out your own money. It's also bad. And it's, yeah, so and go carefully. And it's okay to run out. We've always been a scarcity model of, oh, you better buy it because we're running it. Sometimes a nice thing to do is pre-orders. We do that sometimes where we'll say, hey, we're going to make a run of these. We only make them once in a while. We have these 3/4 length shorts called the mountain shorts. They have 13 pockets. They're tactical capris. So they're like calf length short that go over the knee. And that's the whole idea, is that if you put your knee down in shorts, your knee's in gravel or the dirt or whatever. And then these, you have coverage there. And so they're very unique. People make fun of them. And, oh, man, please. Oh, that's totally tough. And some people get it and think it's super macho, and some people don't really wear them or wouldn't and are critical. So I think they're cool, but I don't wear them personally, but they are totally badass shorts. If you ever,
cool.
I don't like the way they look on me personally. Probably my legs is the issue. But at any rate, we do a pre-order for those, and that way you're collecting the money up front. It's like your own Kickstarter. That's a cool way to go if you have a decent social following, and then you have, what you need. You have a delivery timeline. You say, hey, these are going to deliver in June. We're going to have this pre-order window open XYZ. That's been very helpful and an easy way to get into it and not be over your skis, but you still got to watch the production and make sure that they're doing it right. It's coming out okay. You got to really check them all the time, not just wait for it to be done, but in the process of being done, have check-ins with the manufacturer.
Got it. Chris, this was amazing talking to you about this. I absolutely excited where it's headed, because when you create something unique, when you create something better, a good quality, long lasting, stands out, you're going places. I'm seeing that a product like this is going to help people. If it helps people, I don't see why you shouldn't be growing like anything as you are. So it's great. I can see this expanding to a whole bunch of countries, and you guys are on the right path. Again, congratulations on your new location.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Anything that you wanted to announce, let us know. We'll see what we can do. Or if you wanted to come back on our show, let us know. And appreciate you so much, Chris, and best wishes to you.
Thanks, Shahid. Appreciate it. It's been great on you. Nice talking with you.
No problem. And audience, thanks again for joining us. Chris's information will be in the show notes. Take a look at his website, his social media, and what they're manufacturing in USA. So if you're locally there and you're looking for a product that is unique, you should give it a try. They're manufacturing in a very unique way, and they're keeping that process within their control. That is the key there that they did. And manufacturing is a fun game. It's not for everyone, but definitely
not fun. We also,
yeah, it's not, but we're also involved in manufacturing, and it's a passion. We love it. And it's like we said, it's not for everyone, but definitely is something to look into. If you're looking to create something new to help people, don't hold back. Go for it. Take that action. Take that step. You can do anything, literally. So thank you again. Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah. Thank you, Shahid. Take care.